Welcome back to Grandma Sims. Let's finish this backyard and finish this house. So we're going to work on the backyard here. And originally I put in this pool and this canopy, which I'm going to take out now. So while we're taking that out, it's going to take me a minute. I did look up Wi-Fi. So if you watched the basement rec room video, you know I promised I would look up when Wi-Fi came out. And here's the dealio. Wi-Fi was not anywhere near mid-century. It didn't even come out until the late 90s. So, go figure. So the music they would have been listening to would have been AM, FM radios, record players, LPs, 45s, and mid to late 60s, they would have started listening to 8-track tapes. So, that is what we needed to know from the last video. So we'll get on with this video. So the backyard in a mid-century home would have been just the hub of the home. It was the outdoor living room. It was the patio. There was barbecues, lawn furniture, having a charcoal grill. All of those things would have been huge. I mean, kids knew what time dinner was because they could smell it cooking. So everybody was out in their backyard. The show with the neighbor who on the other side of the fence, they were always talking back and forth. It would have been one of those kinds of things, but it wouldn't have been, it probably would have just been a chain link fence. Chain link fence, they were cheap or affordable, and you could still see your neighbors, you could still chat. I didn't put in a chain link fence on this one because I wanted to see around the neighborhood. All these beautiful plants, the scenery was just too beautiful to put a chain link fence. These flower beds, now we're using desert flowers because that's where we kind of built this. I looked at the landscape around where we are. And we have a lot of these desert flowers and things. I really matched what was going on in the environment. But flower beds would have been very neat and tidy, like this one that we're seeing here. Lot of zinnias, marigolds, roses were extremely popular. So all of those things you could use in a mid-century home. But like I said, I went with matching the environment that this house is in. So we're going to keep it neat and tidy. So the patio brick, I like this patio brick because it looks like it's the brick you put down and then there's the stones between it. Do you remember these? You ever sat on a patio with these? If you didn't have your chair right on the actual pavement part of it and got your chair, even one leg of the chair in that stone part of it, the chair would sink, you'd fall over, and everybody would laugh. What's not to love? Some things that we don't have in The Sims. So I'm just putting in more flower beds. Keep it nice and neat and tidy. And I'm using the same, you're going to see the same flowers and things like that. It would not have been unusual to have a big brick fire pit in the backyard. Something that Dad and a couple of his buddies had a few martinis and put together, and it worked once and then fell over and fell apart. But it would have been exciting. The neighbors would have came to watch. Everybody would have been talking about it, that you had a barbecue pit in your backyard. And maybe it didn't fall over. Maybe it went well. Chances are, no. But this was when do-it-yourself DIY projects really started to boom. Okay, this would have been, after World War II. We're coming out of the 40s into these 50s and 60s, and doing it yourself and being a handyman, working around the house, building things, having a carport. This house doesn't have one. And working outside. All your neighbors would have been outside. They would have been doing all the same things. They would have been working in their yards, and they would have been building projects, and you would stop in the middle of your project and, hang out at the fence line and talk about the projects that you're working on and give each other tips and hints on the projects you're working on. Even though you had no clue what you were doing, you still had plenty of tips and hints on how to do it. So this is a very lush patio. I'm going to put in the patio furniture. Barbecues and patio furniture, outdoor lawn furniture. These things were really coming into their own at this time. Again, I picked this vibrant yellow. I was going to go with different colored chairs, but I changed my mind on that one. On the weekends, I think there would have been a party every weekend. Somebody in the neighborhood was having a party. Everybody was invited. You would get to help Mom in the kitchen, making her famous Jell-O mold to take to the neighborhood party. And all the men would be standing around the grill, grilling. And everybody had their own way of stacking the briquettes, the charcoal briquettes, the way that was best to get them to light and burn. And then after you got done stacking them, you'd light them, and then the men would all stand there and wait until those briquettes got going. Or if you were my dad, he used a little incentive for the briquettes to get going, and that would be a little sprinkle of gasoline. I don't know how many other people's dads did that, but if you remember the taste of your hamburger tasting a little bit like gasoline, then that's probably what your dad was doing. I know that's what my dad was doing. Didn't matter. It didn't matter. We were outside. If we were lucky, we got to help flip the burgers. But of course, we were also the gophers running the house and get the salt and pepper running the house and get, Dad took the burgers out. He forgot the spatula. So you got to run in the house. Go get the spatula for me. And then next thing you know, you're getting yelled at because the screen door is banging again. Banging when you go in, banging when you come out, and Dad's yelling, "Why is that door banging?" Well, because you sent me in to get the stuff that you forgot. You never said that, ever. But it was the reason. That screen door was banging all the time. The grass was always freshly mowed, like a golf course. We would run around in our bare feet in that fresh grass. It felt so good, and it felt so cool. And we would be just begging, Dad to put the sprinkler out. Can we have the sprinkler? Can we have the sprinkler? We want the sprinkler. And of course, he'd oblige, because we love the sprinkler. Just lighting up this hallway here, or entryway, as you may say, for guests, for when they're leaving. This is not a short event. This probably would have went into the night. Kids would have went to bed. Parents would have stayed up and kept the party going. It was easy enough because it was a neighborhood thing, so everybody just walked home. One thing I didn't put in this backyard was a clothesline. I actually didn't do laundry in this house, but it would not have been uncommon for there to be a clothesline in the backyard, and for there to be sheets on the clothesline every Saturday. That's what Mom would be doing. And then you would get fresh, clean sheets that smelled like the outdoors on your bed that night. I'm gonna play test that and make sure that that works. I don't know by raising it up like that if the Sims can still reach it or not. Well, over here in this little corner, I put a tree. It matches, like I said, it matches the environment, so it matches that other tree. And then I thought underneath this tree, we're going to put a little area for our teens, and you'll see that in a second. So this is not anything fancy. It's comfy, cozy, of course. It's lived in. It's where everybody hang out in the summer. So this is where I'm gonna put this blanket down from Lovestruck for our teenagers, and a little picnic basket. Now, this is the weirdest thing with this picnic basket. I had to move it to get it to sit there, which is where I wanted it. It just wants to snap to that blanket. And it just, you didn't see all of that, but it was just snap, snapping to that blanket. And it did not. So I had to do a little maneuvering, but I got it actually where I wanted it. We're just going to put in some more of these garden beds. I wish we had these in The Sims. I know we have lawn chairs that are those white plastic ones, but I wish we had the lawn chairs that, I don't know what it was called. It was called, oh, let me think for a second. It was those woven straps. They had stripes on them. And I believe they were made out of plastic. And the chairs were that aluminum. And they folded, it was a lawn chair, but it folded like, you fold the leg part up and then you fold the chair in half. So it kind of folded like in threes. And if you didn't do that right, you lost a finger. Because those things snapped. And if you sat on the straps wrong, or the straps were out, your butt went in on the floor, on the ground. And it was another one of those do-it-yourself projects because they sold replacement straps. So when the straps broke, Dad could go get the replacement straps and fix the chair, but he never got the color right. So they were hilarious, but they were fun. We loved them. They were awesome. We loved those chairs. We loved to sit on that chair with our legs on either side, with our plate in front of us, with our burger or our hot dog and our potato salad, and sit in those chairs. As dangerous as they were, I mean, our whole growing up existence was dangerous. Everything was out to get us, including our chairs. We didn't care. Just finishing up this another flower bed. I just thought I really wanted to make this backyard as elegant as it would have been. Did I put the pink flamingo in the front yard yet? Or am I going to do that still? We have to have a pink flamingo. How many? Oh, seriously, we have to have a pink flamingo. It's not the 50s without one. There it is. See? You have to have one. So there's some other things we can put here in the backyard. I'm just putting this football in, but slip and slide would work. That would have been great. And I know we have that one in the game with the shark. It's a little big for this backyard, but that actually would work. Putting some bikes in. The kids would have biked all over the neighborhood with their friends. You biked over to your friend's house and you knocked on the door and out they came and got on their bike, and then you would go to your next friend's house and same thing until all your friends were in a group and off you'd go. So this is going to finish up for this mid-century home. We have our backyard and it turned out great. So you let me know in the comments below how your mid-century home came out. Did you do something different? Can I see what you did? Let me know. Are your Sims playing in the house? Are they enjoying it? Just let me know how your mid-century home came out. They're awesome. We love them. Grandma's going to cook us some chili while we go. And don't forget, our next house will be coming out soon. It's actually going to be an industrial build. So remember, keep it creative, keep it cozy, and I'll see you next time.